Alright, welcome back. Now here we're going to talk about bases. I'm not going to dig deep into this. Just know that integers are assumed to be base 10 because we go from 0 to 9. In programming, we start counting at 0. We don't start counting at 1. So if somebody says, how many do you have? I have 0. I have 1. I have 2. So we start at 0 and we go to 9. In business and everywhere else, you start with 1 and go to 10. Well, that's not how we do things in programming. So it's a bit of an adjustment for a lot of people. And when we get to dealing with structures like loops, that repetition, it can become an issue if you don't wrap your head around the fact that we start counting at 0 in programming. So with that said, base 10 is what we use in normal decimal notation. Integers are whole numbers, but we still look at them as decimal notation. Floating points, it is different, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Characters are mathematical representations of zeros and ones in combination. Okay, so we've got binary is base 2. We've got octal, which is base 8. Hex, which is base 10. Okay, so with that said, like I said, I'm not going to dig too deep into this. We'll touch on the things that you will need to really understand is that on 16 digits, right, come back up, base 16 is hex. We call it hexadecimal. What that means is we've got 16 little switches that are turned on or off, and our 8 switches that are turned off, one of 2 places for each one. And what it boils down to is how we interpret characters. Now, the character function, here's a function, we'll talk about functions in a future module, but the character function, I want to know what character 65 is. Well, the 65th character in the sequence of characters is an uppercase A. We went into the notebook that I've got for you in COP2000 underscore module 3. That notebook, you can go in and put that character function, say print, and in parentheses, put CHR, parentheses, and then put whatever number you want in there, and it'll let you know what character is in that sequence. So the character 0, what would it be? Character 65 is A. Now, we want to find out what that number would be for a given character. We can go the other way around. The ORD function, pass it whatever the character is, and it'll tell you what number it converts to. So the number 65, that integer, is uppercase A, or uppercase A is 65. That just lets us know, in the whole scheme of things, where it would be. We'll talk more about hex and bit level operations in chapter 12. They talk about cats and how many toes cats have. It really doesn't tie into what we're doing. just know that base 10, that's integers. Base 16 is a combination of integers and numbers. Something that we'll deal with, and like I said, we're not digging deep on this one. I'll see you in the next video.